Hey you guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel where I inform you, I educate you, and I inspire you. So with that being said, I'm just a messenger. So good evening, good morning, or good afternoon. Today is Sunday, March 20th, 2022, and it's going on 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fun fact, you guys, sometimes I know the days of the week, sometimes I don't. The fact that I just looked at my calendar and it said March 20th, I'm not shocked, but I'm just living. So with that being said, man time and the divine timing are two different things. I'm currently on the divine timing, so man timing is that. So with that being said, on this channel, I suggest and advise information. I speak from a place of experience as well as wisdom, as well as informing you guys with factual information such as geology, the internet, natural resources, everyday experiences, and just existing here while everyone else is. So that being said, I do not tell people what to do or how to feel, and that if these messages and these videos resonate with you, that you give this video a big thumbs up by leaving a like. Make sure you're commenting down below. Make sure you subscribe by turning on your notification bell if it's not on already, as well as follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter at Ty_guidance to stay up to date. So for today's video, we will go over and discuss how do you feel motivated. And I do apologize if you guys see like my camera shaking. I think that's so weird. Like, oh, I'm so slow, you guys. I'm not touching my camera, and I was trying to figure out why my desk was shaking, but that's because my chair is physically pushed towards it. So every time I move my chair, because it's right like in front of my desk, it's moving. I'm all I gotta do is shake my hands. It's because I'm moving the chair. But anyways, you guys, this video slightly is just me expressing myself, but let me get back to the video. So how do you feel motivated? That's what we're going to talk about today's video. So once again, because I suggest and advise information and I like to use factual information to educate the collective, I'm not just going to give my opinions. The only time I give my opinion is when I feel like, one, it is needed or when it's asked, as well as understanding that everybody in life does not process or interpret information. So for example, people can only meet you where they meet themselves. People can only understand you mentally, emotionally, and verbally if they feel that way about themselves or they have the knowledge. So in life, everyone doesn't have the same finances, the education, as well as the resources or geographically like certain locations and environments to understand or comprehend information. So me being a messenger, I'm here to give these messages for those who choose to. So knowing that healing is a choice and that it takes you to do anything when it comes to experiencing your life, and that there's no right or wrong way to do so. So how do you feel motivated? What I want to suggest and advise is understanding, one, yourself. So what has helped me along my journey to feel motivated is to take some time to really understand like what I'm going through. And I know I say a lot of things repetitively in my video, but this month, this year specifically, the goal that I have for the collective right now is to just get us on a track. So in order to work out, in order to have a goal, in order to do something that you've never done before, in order to learn something that you've never been exposed to, you have to start from somewhere. So when it comes to feeling motivated, taking some time to already know what you've been exposed to. So whether it's good or bad, your resources, your finances, verbally, how you communicate, as well as your emotional and your thoughts and your needs. So when it comes to you being motivated, when you are able to reflect and understand what you have and what you've been through, it is not necessarily going to dictate your present moment and your future, but it allows you to understand what you have been accustomed to. So when you're able to reflect on good and bad from however old you are in your life and what you've experienced, good and bad, you're able to realize, okay, where am I making certain decisions that are lacking or adding value? And when it comes to being motivated, being honest. So surrounding yourself and realizing the opportunities, experiences, jobs, relationships, transportation, whatever it is in your life that you've gone through. So when you're able to keep a momentum and you're able to experience and express, good and bad, so from your past, self-reflection is really important when it comes to feeling motivated. Everyone has a past, including myself, and knowing that from your past, what I want to suggest and advise is to look at it as just your past. A lot of people are content with label and attachments physically and materially, and the goal for anybody here is to supernaturally understand their spirit. It's not for you to be so content with people, places, and things, physical material items, or words or labels that you base your personality or your whole existence off of that, when all actuality, we are all, part of the spiritual community. So What I mean by that, specifically and strategically, I used to break down words from the title / topic by using the dictionary and the source. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with using the dictionary and the source to break down these keywords, but it's not for people to read every word from the dictionary and allow these adjectives and these words that are just letters to define how they are or base certain, information on their needs. Because if someone calls you ugly, ugly, that's just a word. How you choose to react is how you're going to feel. So what I mean by that, if someone calls you ugly and you hear that word and you get triggered by that word, if somebody is validating a word to you and you allow that word to be valid, now your whole perspective and how you feel about life is going to be based off of that form of judgment, which is not true. This is why it's so important to, one, understand what you've gone through, good and bad, and take some time to be accountable. So how you feel motivated, how do you feel motivated? Being accountable from your past and realizing that if you were naive, that you were ignorant, that you made certain decisions where you lacked knowledge, you didn't have guidance, you didn't have transportation, you didn't have emotional support, you didn't have financial support, that you had lacked in those areas, good and bad. Just like me and everyone else, we're going to continue to go through things. We've been going through trauma and suffering in life ever since we were children. Most children, depending on how you're raised, may or may not be aware of that. So it's not until you get older and you're able to make, decisions and you have emotions for yourself that you're able to realize and interpret situations. So reviewing and processing your life will help you stay motivated. So next thing I want to suggest and advise is, once you're able to reflect, once you're able to be accountable, you're able to acknowledge, accept, adapt, and take action, start surrounding yourself and paying attention and focusing on the people and places that you want to be around. So how do you do that? I want everyone to go ahead and physically, if they need to, buy themselves a pair of scissors or just get a knife or anything that could cut and start cutting people, places, and things off. Now, when it comes to growing, when it comes to healing yourself, because it is a choice and it is a process, what I really want to suggest and advise is removing yourself from these environments, removing yourself from these relationships. It is okay if you've known someone for 20 years, 30 years. If these people are not in the present moment trying to align themselves to grow and you want to grow, you cannot expect the environment to change or the people around you to understand. That's like me. One thing I've had to realize is that I've outgrown mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially a lot of individuals and peoples and places, because that's no longer where I'm at. Like, I'm not my past. You're not your past. Even though a lot of people mentally are still, in their past and wondering why in the present moment they're not able to grow. It's not that you can't do something that's never done before. It's not that you can't have an idea and turn it into a reality. It's the simple fact that you're in places that you're outdated. You've outgrown. Everything in life has a time limit. Everything in life has an expiration date. From sodas to movies to our existence, to our life. So when it comes to you feeling motivated, really being mindful of, the relationships you had. Like, all the relationships in my life, good and bad, taught me anything. And I feel like that's how all of the relationships, all the people you're going to come across. Like, for the supernatural people, you guys know, I'm just a messenger. I'm just a goddess. I'm just here currently in this era of the 21st century, stopping by on earth, in this dimension right now as we speak, because, life is, gonna continue to live on. And if you know, but realizing, like, the people that I used to know, they're people that I used to know. Like, it is okay to move on and to move forward, because once again, if the people that were meant to be in my life, people that are meant to be there for you, are not going, you don't have to question, you don't have to second guess anything. I want to suggest and advise to you guys when it comes to being motivated. If you have to question something, you are unsure. That's what the word insecurity means. And that's why I say that with not to offend people, but because people hear words, and this is another reason why I'm switching things up. People hear words and, like I said, they run with it. It is okay to, not be sure of something. If you have to question it, and that means you have some time to evaluate yourself, to feel motivated, take that time to find your answer. If you want an answer, you can find it. That's like, if you want something, you're able to get it. You have to be able to ask yourself and put yourself in positions to achieve what it is that you want. Like, the simplest way to live your life is to learn. And I'm going to say that again, the simplest way and the easiest way to feel motivated is to learn. So once you're able to continue to understand, the people, places, and things that you used to, surrender yourself to whatever you believe in and what your values are, and, start doing things daily. You don't have to sit here and climb Mount Everest in a day or in 30 seconds or in 5 years or 5 months. Realizing that whatever is meant for you to achieve is going to take your time and energy to do so, but you have to be willing and you have to realize for you to feel motivated that that is something that you want to do. So if you're around people and places and things that you've outdated and outgrown, excuse me, it's going to be hard for you to move forward. It's going to be hard for you to accept certain things. So when you're eager to understand yourself or to grow, you're able to determine your outcome. You're able to be in the present moment. You're able to realize your past and why you've gone through certain things. And now, for those of you who know, if you really know, now is not the time to let up. Okay, you guys, I currently shout out to Miss Lindaria. I will tag her and Miss Tiffany. Now is not the time. Now is not the time, you guys. Like, oh my goodness gracious, like the downloads. Okay, if you guys can say, if you know, for those of you who know, you know. Now is not the time. It is a bigger picture. It's always been a bigger picture. And because this picture is bigger than us, we, for those who know, you know, we have a job to play. We have a role to play. Okay. So for those of you who are in position, you need to continue to stay in position. And for those of you who are here, and I'm here to help you get in position, anyone who's coming across this page, we don't have the time. Now is not the time. You've gone through too much in your life to not feel motivated. You've lost too much. And how do I know? Because I've lost too much in my life. I've gone through too much in my life to not be motivated and to not continue. People are going to talk. These people are distractions. It's not even about the people. They're just being used. Okay. If you know, you know. So for you to feel motivated, you have to continue to, understand yourself and take some time to get to know yourself. One thing that I've had to realize is, for example, the people I used to surround myself with, I don't have any negative energy towards nobody. But once again, anything that you have to question or people that make you not feel secure, ask yourself, do you really need to be around these people? Do you really need to work at this job? Do you really need to be in a relationship? And I get it. Oh, that's my mom. That's my boyfriend. Those people, I'm going to be really honest, transparent. If people care about you, you'll know. You don't have to tell someone you care about them to show them. You don't have to tell someone you care about them by caring for them. You don't have to tell someone you're going to do this or do that if you are holding yourself accountable. And of course, nobody is perfect. Once again, you guys, before I became saved and before I stepped into my, supernatural powers, your girl was full of it, okay? And if you know, you know. I was on the wrong side. I've decided. And if you know, you know. You can't serve two masters, okay? And it's not to say that I intentionally just decided, to be all hell, who, but not knowing. And that's something I'm learning. Like, you have to stay motivated because you've already gone through too much in your life. And I know you're like, but Ty, I didn't want this to happen to me, or people did this. Nobody on this earth, including myself, physically, before the supernatural community tries to come for me, asked to be here in the flesh. Spiritually and supernaturally, that's a whole different topic. As time reveals itself, we gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about those things. But in the flesh, if you did not, okay, you guys, hold on. Let me drink some water because we do not have time. We do not have time. The fact that all of this is going on right now, you guys, like, and you know how fortunate, if you are alive, I tell you guys all the time, if you woke up, you are doing a lot better than what you think. How do I know? Oh, but I don't have a car. I don't have any money. I don't have clothes. People are talking about me. Get the scissors. Why are you hanging around people that talk about you? Why are you worried about people that don't like themselves? People only talk about people they think are important. You are the main character. I am the main character. People that try to bring me down, first of all, it's not even the people. Those people don't even know who they are. The enemy likes to sit here and bother and attack people who don't know themselves. They already wrapped around. If you're getting attacked supernaturally, if you know what's going on, it's for a reason. Nobody's going to rob in an empty house. If I was a robber, or if you were a robber, and people that know rob, steal, kill, and, deal. If somebody's house, just a quick question, if somebody's house was worth $1 million, if someone told you that this house, next to you, let's just say your neighbor's house was worth $1 million and it had everything that anybody would want, and then there's your house and you don't have nothing, like no lights, no water, nothing, Which house are they going to rob? They're not going to rob the house that doesn't have any lights on. They're not going to rob the house that don't got no food in the refrigerator. They're not going to rob the house where there's no light. They can't even go inside. They can't even see. Who's going to rob an empty house? They're robbing that house that has $1 million because it's $1 million. They're robbing that house because they got lights, LED lights, sensor lights at that. Okay, you have to take a step back and realize that you need to feel motivated for you, because you are the only person who's going to live your life. And the reason why, once again, like I stated, it's so easy for people to not, move forward is because you're allowing people, places, and things that are not you, or, that are not you, try to tell you who you are and what you are. Like, you have to be mindful of what you're listening to. That's like the people, like for myself, for example, there are some people, and this is not to knock people, but at the end of the day, it doesn't take much to figure somebody out. You pay attention. If you know, you know. There are some people that I used to look up to, and people that I thought that I was compatible, relatable with, and as they continue to reveal themselves, they're letting me know we are actually not on the same page. What I thought I saw, I took off the glasses. If you've seen the movie Alice in Wonderland, that's where I'm at right now. This is, if you know, you know. People, it doesn't take, like I said, it doesn't take much to figure out who somebody is and how they move, especially if you know, you know. And you guys are probably like, what do you mean? Eventually y'all gonna know if y'all are here, because if you're not watching people to align yourself, if you're not trying to move forward, what are you doing? Ask yourself that. Like, really get to know yourself. I know people, don't like to, get to know themselves. Something I used to tell you guys last year, or I think in the year 2020, was to look in the mirror and not to be vain, or not to just be like, oh yeah, I'm this and I'm that. Like, because here's the thing, people say arrogance, people say vain when they're not comfortable. It's one thing if you walked around and you made other people feel this way. If you feel good by yourself and people don't feel good, you're not vain. You're not conceited. You're not cocky. You're not arrogant. That's like people who see me. People judge me and think, oh, she's this and she's that. If I'm not saying that I'm better than you, that I look better than you, that I financially have, it does not matter. You have to realize what other people say and do sometimes, and a lot of times it's not about you. Like, it's not. And when it is about you, and when people are trying to better you, it's for a reason. Like, one thing I've had to realize, and what I've been learning, is that I don't want to be around people who just tell me what I want to hear. I need people who have differences, who have a different perspective, who are in a position, if not trying to be in a position, to feel motivated, and to better themselves. Because anybody could say anything. A lot of people say anything. So holding yourself accountable will help you feel motivated. Being mindful of what you've gone through and being grateful. Like, it's so easy to complain. It's not going to be until you no longer can complain, or you really going to be in a situation. And of course, I don't wish that on nobody, but a lot of people sometimes have to learn the hard way. And I had to be one of those people. When I was a child, I had to learn the hard way. I'm an adult now. I'm 25, and I'm grateful that I'm alive and I'm here to make these videos. But for people to get it, you have to be patient. So how do you feel motivated? You learn to be patient. You learn to take a step back. You learn to sit here and take some time to yourself, and you make yourself a priority. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your life. Don't forget to say YOLO, and stay tuned for further videos.